Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope so you all are doing well. Today we are going to start our first chapter, direct and inverse proportion. I am going to tell you some of the things or the basic concepts which will help you out to do your week first assignment of mathematics for grade 7th. Before going to start, let's do the drill. Read the following fractions on the flashcard and tell the reciprocal of each fraction. As you can see on your screens that 5 flashcards are given to you in which 5 fractions are there. You have to tell that the word will be the reciprocal for each fraction. If you are confused about the word reciprocal, you can read the note which is given to you that a reciprocal means two fractions whose product is 1. So do it by yourself. Guess the word else. Guess the word. I'm going to count. One, two, three. Yes. C. Who was right? Yes, the first word was square root and the second word was multiplication table. So, objective of today's lecture is that you will be able to understand what is proportion, types of proportion, when are two quantities in direct proportion, what is graph, direct proportion graph. Ratio, as you have read a lot of thing about it in your previous classes, how you can change a ratio into a fraction form, what is fraction and each and everything. I'm just going to give you a basic concept of it. Ratio is basically a comparison of two quantities and the quantities must be in same unit. Here the definition which is given to you is a ratio compares number in a set order. Here an example is also given. You can see in the green box that how many men are there? 3. And how many women are there? 1. While finding the ratio of men to women, which quantity come first? Men. So how many men are there? 3. So हमारे पास पहले क्या आ जाएगा? 3. You are going to change 2 into the ratio form. And how many women are there? 1. So, when you are going to find the ratio of women to men, the quantity which come first is women, and the number of women are 1. So, your ratio will become 1 ratio 3. The other picture is given to you, which shows that 2 ratio 3, you can write it as 2, 2, 3, and 2 divided by 3. And you know that 2 is the numerator in it, and what is 3? 3 is the denominator. Now, coming towards this slide, proportions. A proportion is an equality of ratios. How many ratios? Two. As I have already told you in the previous slide that you can write A ratio B as A divided by B. Equality means that it must be equal to the other ratio, which is C divided by D. So, what does proportion means? That two ratios must be equal to each other. Ratio and proportion. A ratio is a comparison of two values expressed as a quotient. For example, in a class there are 12 girls and 18 boys. The ratio of girls to boys is 12 divided by 18. This ratio can also be expressed as an equivalent ratio by dividing 12 and 18 by 6. When we are going to divide 12 and 18 by 6, we will get 2 by 3. So 12 divided by 18 is equals to 2 by 3. What they both are? They are equivalent ratios. Similarly, if we have simplest form given to us, we can convert it into an equivalent ratio by multiplying it with the same number. 1 divided by 3 is equals to 2 by 6. A proportion is an equation stating that two ratios are equal. For example, in the example of ratio, we have reduced that 12 divided by 18 is equals to 2 by 3. What it is showing that it is a proportion. I am going to discuss about the parts of proportion on this slide. Two ratios are given to us and what relation they have, they are equal to each other. 3 is the first term, 6 is the second term, 1 is the third term, 2 is the fourth term. Second term and the third term are known as means, whereas the first term and the fourth term are known as extreme. So again, proportionality is equals to equality of two ratios. A, B, C, D are in proportion. Means A, B, C, D are general terms. How we can write it in a proportion form, A ratio B. This is the sign for proportion. When we are going to change this proportion sign into an equal sign, we will get this form. After then, we can change the ratio into a fraction form. After changing it into it, we will get AD is equals to BC, or we have deducted the formula which shows that product of means B and C is equals to product of extreme, which is A and D. So you can find the proportion of this by finding 6 multiplied by 1 and 3 multiplied by 2. It means 6 is equals to 6. On this slide, I am going to discuss that how to solve proportion. In the last slide, we have deducted a formula which was product of means is equals to product of extreme. Here, two ratios are given which are equal to each other. First, we are going to convert them into a fraction form. Then we are going to cross multiply. Cross product here mentioned that 3 by 5 is a fraction which is equals to 21 by 35, and the relation between two of the ratios are that they are equivalent to each other. When we multiply it means when we do the cross product, so 3 is going to be multiplied with 35 and 5 is going to be multiplied with 21. We will get the same result. So now you are going to do the examples of ratio and proportion. Challenge yourself and do it on your rough sheets. The first question is here that you have to find the value of x. A proportion is given to you. You can use both methods. Already we have done the question, similar question on your previous slides. By using both method you can do it. The first one was product of means by using the formula which was product of means is equals to product of extreme, or by using the other method which was changing the ratio into a fraction form and then cross multiplying it. In the second ratio, in the second question, you can see that a proportion is given to you. While changing the ratios into a fraction form, A is equals to 5 and B is equals to 3. So write the value of A separately, the value of B separately, then solve these four parts. For B, C and D parts, what you are going to do, find the value of A minus B and find the value of A plus B. After that, you will write the ratios accordingly. In this question, A ratio B is equals to 3 ratio 4 and A ratio B is equals to 4 ratio 5. Two proportions are there, but you have to find the value of B ratio C. First, solve this proportion by using the fraction method, then cross multiply the things. After that, take out the value of A. Find the value of A here. You will get A is equals to 3 by 4C. Insert this value in this ratio and then you will get B ratio C. Now coming towards the types of proportion. There are two types of proportion, direct proportion and the other one is inverse proportion. But in this lecture, we are going to deal with the direct proportion. On this slide, both of the proportions are given, means direct proportion is also defined and inverse proportion is also defined, but we are just going to check this out, means direct proportion. Types of proportion. Here is a recap of proportion and ratio. Proportion is relation of equality of two ratios, and what is ratio? It is the comparison between two quantities. Where a proportion is given 1 ratio 2 is equals to 2 ratio 4. What is direct proportion? Direct proportion means that increase in one quantity increase in other quantity. For example, if we are going to increase a quantity, the other quantity is also going to be increased. If we are going to decrease a quantity, the other quantity is also going to be decreased. For example, number of pen. When we are going to buy a pen, the price will be 10. If we buy 2 pens, the price will be 20, and if we buy 4 pens, the price will be 40. It means when the number of pens are increasing, the price of the pen also increases. So we are going to discuss more about direct proportion. Here the definition of proportion is given. What is the direct proportion? Two quantities are directly proportional if an increase in one quantity corresponds to a constant increase in the other quantity. Means अगर एक quantity increase होगी तो जो दूसरी quantity आपको दी गई है वो उसका भी increase होना ज़रूरी है. Or if a decrease in one quantity corresponds to a constant decrease in the अदर क्वांटिटी मीन्स कि अगर आपको या तो एक क्वांटिटी कम हो रही है तो दूसरी भी क्या होगी कम होनी चाहिए. हियर आर सम एग्जांपल. द मोर यू ईट द मोर यू ग्रो. यहाँ पे आपको अपवर्ड एरो शो क्या कर रहे हैं कि वो क्या हो रहा है इंक्रीज हो रहा है. डाउनवर्ड एरो शोज कि यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है डिक्रीज. द लेसर द नंबर ऑफ आइटम्स द स्मॉलर द अमाउंट टू पे. जितने कम आप आइटम्स खरीदोगे, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू वांट टू बाय पेन्स, पहले 4 लिया आपने, वो प्राइस ऑटोमेटिकली ज्यादा होगी. जब आप कम लोगे पेन तो प्राइस सही बात है कम उसकी होती जाएगी. तो हमेशा आपने ये याद रखना है कि प्राइस और क्वांटिटी के दरमियान में डायरेक्ट रिलेशन होता है, क्योंकि whenever you are going to buy some quantity, if you are going to increase the number of quantities, automatically the cost of the quantity is going to be increased. And if you are going to decrease the number of quantity, तो आपका क्या हो जाएगा प्राइस भी आपकी डिक्रीज होगी. Some more examples are given. The less sleep you had, the less energy you have. जितना कम आप सोएंगे उतनी एनर्जी आपकी क्या होगी कम होगी. Downward arrow shows decrease. Upward arrow shows increase. यहाँ पे क्या है the more sugar you add in a pastilla, the sweet it will be. जितने आप शुगर किसी चीज में भी ज्यादा डालते हो उतना क्या होगा वो मीठा ज्यादा होगा. The faster the speed, the greater the distance. अब आप गाड़ी पे मूव कर रहे हो, जितनी आपकी गाड़ी की स्पीड तेज होगी, और if you are on motorbike आप or if you are on cycle, जितनी स्पीड आपकी ज्यादा होगी आप उतनी ही जल्दी डिस्टेंस क्या कर सकते हैं कवर. So both quantities are increasing or decreasing for which direct proportion. Here some real life examples of direct proportion is given. The number of points scored by a soccer team is in direct proportion to the number of goals made. अगर आप soccer team में हो और आपके goal ज़्यादा हो रहे हैं, obviously आपके points क्या होंगे ज़्यादा. So by increasing one quantity, goal ज़्यादा हुए तो आपके क्या ज़्यादा हो रहे हैं points. So what will be the relation between both? आपकी direct variation आ जाएगी. The profit of a movie is in direct proportion to the number of tickets sold. जितने ज़्यादा tickets sold होंगे मूवी के उतना ही profit क्या होगा ज़्यादा होगा, और relationship क्या बन जाएगा direct relation. If you earn an hourly wage, what does it means कि आपको जो pay है वो और के हिसाब से मिलनी है. The amount of money you earn is in direct proportion to the number of hours you work. जितने ज्यादा घंटे आप काम करोगे उतने ही ज्यादा आपको मनी मिलेगी. Symbol of direct proportion, this is the sign. When we say x is directly proportional to y, we write it as कि x is directly proportional to y. This is the sign to relate two things, वो जो कि आपस में इनका रिलेशन क्या है डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल है. आप उसको कैसे लिखोगे in this way. And if you are going to change this sign into an equal sign, here comes k, and what k shows constant of variation. k को हम क्या कह रहे हैं constant of variation. Here a y is directly proportional to x, you will read it as, and it shows कि y is equals to kx. It basically shows कि the ratio between x and y remains the same as they vary. For example, if first quantity is increasing, the other is going to also increase. If the first quantity is decreasing, the other is going to decrease. Direct proportion statement in the previous slide, as I have told you, if we want to relate two quantities that are directly proportion to each other, we are going to write it in this way. और इसको हम कैसे लिख सकते हैं? In this way also. Here are some statements. Y is proportional to x. हम उसको कैसे लिखेंगे? Y is equals to kx. Formula of y in terms of x. If we want to write y is proportional to the square of x, तो आपको मैंने बताया कि proportional वाला sign किस पे change हो गया? Equals to k into something जिसकी स्क्वायर में वो है. यहाँ पे क्या गिवन है? y is proportional to the square of x. It means y is equals to kx square. The third is y is directly proportional to x cubed. Y is equals to kx cubed. If y varies directly with the square root of x, square root of x means under root x. You are going to write it in this way. Jim's wages are directly proportional to the hours he works. What does it mean? Jim's की जो income है वो किस पे dependent है? जितने और वो काम करेगा. It means कि wages increase तो क्या increase? Hours increase. The more hours he works, the more money he earns. How we can write in it in a mathematical way? Wages is directly proportion. This sign shows the directly proportion sign to which quantity? Hours. If you are going to change it into an equal sign, you get wages is equals to k multiply by hours. K को आप किससे multiply कर दोगे? जो भी चीज यहाँ पर होगी, the quantity which is given to us, आपने उसको k से multiply करना है. What is k in it? K is the constant of proportionality as told earlier. So here is an example for solving the direct proportion. First, I'm going to read the statement. If y is directly proportional to x, two values are given, y and x. They are what? They are unknown to us. हमें उसकी value नहीं पता. Then when x is equals to 12, now the value of x is given, y is equals to 3. When the value of x is 12, the value of y is 3. Find the value of x when y is equals to 8. It means that we are going to find the value of k first, then the value of x. Here is the solution. For y is directly proportional to x, you can write the statement as y is equals to kx. Now y, k and x, the three terms are unknown to us, but in the first line, it is given कि x की value क्या है? 12. The value of y is equals to 3. By substituting the values in the formula, this is the formula, आपको k की value क्या आ जाएगी? 1 divided by 4. After finding the value of k, you are going to find the value of x when y is equals to 8. Then to find the value of x when y is equals to 8, substitute the value again in this formula, you will get the value of x. Do it on your extra sheet, blue sheet पे इसको करेंगे आप लोग solve. Here is another example for solving the direct proportional question. In this question, the formula which we are going to make is y is proportional to the square of x. Square of x means x square, and y is proportional to the square of x means y is equals to kx. Y is equals to kx square. Sorry, y is equals to kx square. In this line, it's also given y is equals to 60 when x is equals to 6. For direct proportion question, I'm going to give you a hint. आप लोगों को पहले x और y की वैल्यू जब गिवन है, what does it means? It means that you are going to find the value of k first. After that, you are going to solve the parts. Now again, you can see in the solution that first you are going to write the formula, then insert or substitute the value of y and x in the formula. You will get the value of k. Now the first part is find a formula for y in terms of x. आपने formula एक find करना है, y को किसके terms में लिखना है, x की terms में. For example, y is हमारा formula तो यही रहेगा same for a part and the b part, but now the value of y is not given, the value of x is not given, we have only value of k. Substitute the value of k in this formula, you will get this. In the B part, it is given find y when x is equals to 4.5. We have the value of k, which is 5 by 3. Substitute it in which formula? This formula. You will get the value of y. Again, for the C part, the value of y is given to us and the value of k हमने सबसे पहले ही वो find कर ली थी. आप x की value find कर सकते हो. Again, you are going to do these three parts on your loose sheet by giving name of example number 4 on it. Kindly write the question carefully. I'm going to give you a little introduction of graph. This is known as a Cartesian plane. The horizontal line shows the x-axis and the vertical line shows the y-axis. Where two lines are meeting, this point is known as origin. X is known as an independent variable and y is known as a dependent variable. I am saying that y is known as a dependent variable because the value of y depends on x, but x is known as an independent variable because the value of x doesn't depend on value of y. I'm going to discuss it in detail on my upcoming slides. In this figure, the x-axis shows a number line in which 0 comes in between of positive numbers and negative number comes on the left side. Similarly, this shows that on up side, on y-axis, positive values are there, and by moving downward, you can see that negative value of y is here. This is the quadrant number 1. In quadrant number 1, both the value of x, this is the value of x, and this shows the value of y, and the whole is known as an ordered pair. Ordered pair means that in which the first value of x is given, and in the second value shows the value of y. To locate this, we are going to move 2 steps towards positive x-axis and 3 steps in the upward direction. We are going to put a point over here, like you can see this. To plot this ordered pair -2, 3, first number shows the negative x-axis and this shows the positive y-axis. So for locating -2, move to the left side. How many steps? 2 steps. 1, 2. Now for locating 3, move 3 steps in the upward direction like this. Locate a point like this. And this is known as the quadrant number 2. It means in quadrant number 2 the value of x is negative but the value of y is positive. For locating a number or ordered pair in quadrant number 3, both the values are given in negative form, -2 and -3. Similarly, for locating an ordered pair in quadrant number 4 means the value of x is positive, but the value of y is negative. Move 2 steps in a positive x-axis direction and 3 steps in the downward direction on y-axis. Direct proportion graph. Two quantities which are in direct proportion always lie on a straight line passing through the origin. This shows that if two values are directly proportion to each other, तो उनके दरमियान में जो line होगी वो क्या होगी? Like straight line that passes through the origin. Direct proportion graphs. Example, Plot the points in the table below. Are they in direct proportion? To check whether the relation of these two quantities, what are these two quantities x and y, we have to follow three steps. First of all, we are going to make the ordered pairs. The second step is we are going to plot the ordered pairs in the Cartesian plane. And in the third step, we are going to join the points. After joining the points, we are going to check that whether the line is the straight. If it is straight, then whether it is passing from the origin on or not. If it passes from the origin and the line is straight, then the relation between x and y is direct. So we are going to solve it. Firstly, what we are going to do, we are going to make the ordered pair. So four ordered pair are here. How we have make them? For the value of x, the value of y is 3, like this. For the value of x, which is 2, the value of y is 6, like this. For the value of x, which is 3, the value of y is 9, like this. And for the value of x, which is 4, the value of y is 12. As we have made the ordered pair first, now is the time to plot them on the Cartesian plane. The first ordered pair is for the value of x, which is 1. The value of y is 3. Let's plot it. For 1, we are going to move 3 steps upward like this. We are going to plot a point over here. Now the second order pair is 2, 6. 2 means the value of x, move to this 2, and for the value of y, which is 6, move 6 steps in the upward direction and plot a point. For the third step, the third order pair is 3, 9. For 3, the value of y is 9, plot a point again. And now the value of 4, for the value of 4, the value of y is 12. 4 now moves 12 steps in the upward direction like this. The distance between 0 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 must be same in this way. The distance between two numbers must be same. So while joining all these 4 points, you can see that it is passing from the origin and the line is straight. So since we have a straight line passing through the origin, x and y are in direct proportion. Hope so you have learned that how you can draw a line that must passes from the origin to show that whether the relation between two quantities which are given to you are in direct proportion or not. Now here is another example of direct proportion graphs. The table shows the cost of packets of the biscuits, which is directly proportional to the number of packets. It means that two quantities are given to us. First is cost of packets and the other is number of packets, and the relation between them is direct. Looking towards the table, number of packets, the second row shows cost. For one packet, the cost is 20. For 2, the cost is 40. For 3, the cost is 60. For 4, the cost is 80. For 5, the cost is 100. And for 6, the cost is 120. You can see from the table that as the number of packets increase, the cost is also increasing. And if both quantities increases, what relation they must have? Yes, the direct relation, which is also given in the question. What we have to find in this question, we can construct a graph. We have to construct a graph to represent this data. What type of graph do we expect? Obviously, as we have learned in our previous slides that if two quantities have direct relation, the graph which is going to be formed between them must passes through the origin and the line must be a straight line. Point to remember for graph. For the data given in the previous slide, C is directly proportional to N. Now C represents the cost, N represents the number of packets. So हमने ये कहाँ से लिखा? From the question. C is directly proportional to N. For the above relation, N is the independent variable. Now it's the time to judge which of them is an independent variable and which is the dependent variable. First of all, we are going to read their definition. Independent variable, a variable whose variation does not depend on other. It means that which is the independent variable n. And what is n? N is the number of packets. It means that the number of packets does not depend on the cost. If numbers of packets are increasing, this is not going to be depend on the cost. But for the dependent variable, a variable whose value depends on other. And which is the dependent variable in it? Cost. It means that when the number of packets are going to be increased, the price is also going to be increased. Number of packets increases from 1 to 6. Price also increases from 20 to 120, which shows that the independent variable is, yes, number of packets, and the dependent variable is cost, because cost is dependent on the number of packets. So what is the relation? Yes, this is the direct relation. In the previous slide, we have mentioned that number of packets are independent variable and the cost is dependent variable. Independent variable is going to be plotted on the x-axis and the dependent variable is going to be plotted on the y-axis. Before going to plot all the points in the Cartesian plane, you are going to make all the ordered pair. For example, for 1, you are going to make an order pair 1, 20. For 2, for the second order pair 2, 40. For the third order pair 3, 60, and for the fourth order pair 4, 80. Similarly for the fifth order pair 5, 100, and for sixth 6, 120. Now you are going to plot all of them in the Cartesian plane. After doing it, join all the points with each other. You will see that the points lie on a straight line that passes through the origin. What it shows, this is true for any two quantities which are in direct proportion. So they are showing that number of packets have a direct relation with cost. So here I have mentioned some of the links which are on Google and on YouTube. If you are still confused, watch the following links. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.